Okay, we're going to, in another file, make a tree, pine tree, that we can place in our scene. So make sure your snowman is saved. Click File, Save Project, or Control S or Command S. And let's make a new project. You can leave this open. Click File, New Project, and let's save it as tree. So go File, Save As, Save Project As. And you can save it in the same folder as Snowman because this is a pretty simple project. We don't have to make a subfolder or anything. Let's just call it tree. Actually, be consistent. I'm going to call mine tree001 because I'm just that way. But you can call it tree. Save it in the same folder as your Snowman project. Click Save. To build a tree, we're going to start with a cylinder. So go to your primitive objects, create a cylinder. Let's set the object properties. Click on Object. Let's have the radius. I have this figured out here. I wrote it down. Hang on. Yeah. Keep the radius at 50. The height will be 500. And we can always, if we don't, we can always make them shorter or whatever. Jeez, come on. What's going on here? 500. And height segments, this is important. Get this one right. This is 10 height segments. And then rotation segments, turn that down to 9. All of these, especially the height and rotation segments, are very important to have correct here. So 50, 500, 10, 9. All right. Now, to work on this, we have to make it editable, and you can either hit, with it selected, let's call it tree. Okay, let's name it tree. With a tree selected, you can either hit the letter C on the keyboard, or you can click on this icon, Make Editable. So now it is editable. Remember, we want to see the the segment lines on this. Remember the shortcut. We could go to Display, Guru Shading Lines, but remember the shortcut, the keyboard shortcut. Hit the letter N, and then you can have a bunch of stuff to choose from there. So hit the letter B for Guru Shading Lines, and those are our lines. Now this will be much easier to do in the foreview, but first, let's see. Let's get the basic shapes here. We're going to make a pine tree, so it has to be pointy. So up here in modes, select point mode, and we'll just use the brush selection tool and just select that one point on the very top there. Click, hold, and drag the y-axis up so we got a nice point on your cylinder. Okay, from here, let's go into the foreview, and we did this before in this project, but go up here and click this icon in the upper right of the toggle active view. Click that, and remember we can hover over any of these panes and zoom in, zoom out, etc., etc. So we're going to use mostly the right view here, but I'm going to keep everything open so you can see what's happening here. So the strategy here is we're going to select points and adjust them, and just follow along with me, trust me. First of all, let's change the selection tool, the brush tool, hit the drop down menu and choose rectangle selection. Make sure you're in point mode, and if you click on rectangle selection, one thing that's very important is to click on the options tab. Make sure visible only is disabled. So rectangle selection, visible only disabled. That's very important, or else none of this will work. So let's come back here, and what you want to do is we're going to select this row of points. So click, hold and drag, do a marquee selection, and select all of those. What we want to do is pull this inward, and the way we do that is that we use the scale tool. So we can go up here and click scale tool, or we can use the keyboard shortcut, which is T for transform. So hit the letter T. Now you'll get these little box handles. The thing to not do, N-O-T, do not do, and I'll show you like a mistake, is like, well, okay, I want to smush this in, so I'm going to grab this handle and pull it in. Well, you see, you just deformed it, and we want to keep everything symmetrical, so let me Command Z. So with the scale tool enabled, so you can see these little boxes, hover anywhere outside of the object. Don't touch the object. Don't touch the handles. Hover up out here. Click, hold, and drag to the left to pull the object in, or the points in, and click, hold, and drag to the right. You can also go up or down too, but to the right expands the points. Dragging to the left brings the points closer together. And for this, we want to bring them close together. Now we're going to use the move tool to move this up, so we can come up here and click on the move tool, or we can hit the letter E. It's much easier. So hit the letter E, grab the Y-axis only and pull it up. Now if you look up at the whoops, I hit the wrong thing. There's a huge microphone in front of me, so it's hard for me to see. I hit the wrong thing. Okay, so you're pulling these points up. You don't want to pull them out too far to destroy the geometry, right? So you're pulling up to make like this mushroom kind of umbrella shape. And we're going to make a series of those shapes, going up. So now down here, let's hit we can go up here and hit the selection tool. And that's cool, right? If you hit the space bar, it goes back to the last tool you used. So the previous tool. So like if I hit the space bar, it goes back to the selection tool. I will grab this row. I want to scale it out. So remember, the scale keyboard shortcut is T. Click, hold, and drag to the right to pull this out like that, right? I want to move this up a little bit, so hit the letter E for the move tool, move it up. And then to get back to the selection tool, you can go click on it, or you can hit the space bar to go back to the last tool that you used. Select this row, letter T for transform, click, hold, and drag to the left to really pull it in. Letter E for move tool, pull it up. So you can see, now if I go up here in the perspective view, you can see what's going on here, right? We're making like this shape, and I might adjust this. Okay, so anyway, back here in the right view, whoops, sorry about that. All right, go back to the selection tool, select that line, T for transform for the scale tool, and I'm gonna like click, hold, and drag, and I can pull it out. I want this row to be wider than that row. E for move tool, move it up a little bit. So like each layer is going to get successively larger. Spacebar, select that line, letter T, drag to the right, or left, pardon me, drag to the left. It's hard to do this and talk at the same time. E for move tool, move it up there. Very cool. Spacebar. Select that line. T. I want to expand it, so I'm going to click, hold, and drag to the right. I want to expand this past the previous line here. E for move tool. I'm going to move it up a little bit, not a whole bunch. Spacebar to go to my last tool, which was the selection tool. This guy, I don't have to smush it in too much. I can just pull it right up. And then we got a couple more. We can see what this looks like here. You have to make aesthetic decisions here. Like this is, when I look at this now, it looks like too flared out. So I'm going to select this again and go with T for transform and pull it in a little bit, because it was like looking kind of clunky and stupid. In fact, this one is too. I'm going to select this line. So you have to adjust. You have to take your time with this stuff and make something that looks nice, right? I might even pull that in closer. Selection tool. Whoopsies, wrong tool. I hit the wrong key on the keyboard and I messed up everything. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so now down here, go to the selection tool, select this, and T for transform, flare this one way out. And then E for move tool and move that one up. And then hit the space bar to go back to my selection tool. Grab this and pull that up. Of course, our trunk is way too big. We'll fix that. But let's just look at this, and it doesn't, let's fix the trunk. So with this selected in here, T, I'm going to pull this way in. And then selection tool, select this, pull this up, T for transform, pull it in. Okay, so let's take a gander at this tree and ask ourselves honestly, does that look nice? And no, it doesn't. We got to do a lot of adjusting here. So I would suggest stay in this view and make some aesthetic decisions on like how you want this tree to look. Now, see this looks okay. This doesn't here. So it's like this internal chunk here is too narrow. So I'm going to expand that out a little bit. Now it's starting to look better. See that there's like a nice symmetry going on here. Let me grab this internal part here. Go to the selection tool. I'm not following my own advice here. T for transform. I'm going to pull this out. So I was smushing in the interior pieces too much. And this is looking a lot nicer. So selection tool, I'm going to grab that interior part. T, expand it out a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm decreasing the size of these gaps here, and it looks a lot better this way. Um, this chunk here is too big, so let me do the selection tool again and grab that part, and with the move tool just move it up a little bit. T to transform. So like, I think you get what I'm doing here. So that doesn't look too bad there. The bottom of the trunk is a little bit too wide, but overall this doesn't look, it looks pretty good, you know, for what we're doing here. So that is, let me deselect. Let me just kind of rotate around here, and let me just show this without the lines on it. So remember, if you hit the letter N and then A for Guro shading only. Why didn't it do it? Okay, it should have. Oh, it's because I have the point mode selected. Let me go into model mode. Okay. This is what my tree is looking like here, and that looks pretty cool. Okay, let me get out of the 4 view. That is my stylized cartoonish tree, and I think it looks okay. Your tree will look a little bit different. You can use your own aesthetic decisions on how you want to proportion your tree. But save your file, save project, and then in the next video I'll show you how to merge this into the snowman scene.